Today is Tuesday, May 6th. Currently about to go to the gym. Shout out to Trey. Happy birthday, man. I hope you enjoy today. Leaving for the gym now. Thus far, once again, it's been a pretty good morning. I was able to wake up bright and early. I was able to do some editing and post a video. I was able to eat, which I have to pretty much remember to eat because I never eat before the gym, but now that I'm going to the gym later, I need to make sure that I eat before just so I can make sure I eat the correct amount of calories that I'm supposed to get in a day. So took care of that this morning, which was nice, which was cool. Did a little bit of stretching today, trying something a little bit different. Let's stretch before the workout and then see how I feel, because typically I work out and then after the workout I feel pain and then I try to stretch after, yada yada yada. This time I'm like, yo, what if I stretch before I leave the house, go to the gym and be somewhat loose and then work out and then see how my pain levels are. Hopefully this works and then I'm not in any pain or in less pain, and then this way I kind of know how to conduct myself from here on out. But we will see about that one. Overall, it's a good start to the day. It's 9:45 in the morning. I've been moving, been up since 5:30. It's a good start to the day. It's a good way to attack the day. So I'm very thankful and I'm blessed. Thank you, Jesus. Thankful and I'm blessed. You know, something that kind of had me thinking the other night, really last night, because this is what happened. I really just started making these videos, so it is very interesting to watch what you do in a day, like to really like be conscious of what you're doing in a day and then like recording yourself and then watching it back. It's quite interesting to see what you do in a day. And I'm noticing too, like my days are very similar. My weeks are very, very similar. I pretty much wake up at the same time, eat roughly the same things, do pretty much the same things every day. Obviously, it does change, and you know, certain weekends I might have to go home, I hang out with family, and obviously I don't record every little bit of my day. I just try to record like the highlights and just try to like check in. But I noticed like, yeah, my life is like pretty boring, and it's pretty chill. So me and Trey were talking last night, because at that time we were both kind of bored. And I was like, yo, do we need more excitement in our life? And he said no. To my surprise, at least a little bit. I wasn't fully surprised, but at least a little bit. And he's saying because this life brings him peace. And does bring me peace as well. I was like, you know, that's pretty interesting. And I guess I never really thought about it like that. Well, I did think about it like that, but I don't know. He's right, though. Like, I don't do much, you know? I have a very small circle. I'm social and I talk to people, but in terms of people who I actually consider like real friends or I talk to on a regular is quite small. But my life is peaceful. And if there was a lot more excitement in my life, it probably would be more fun. I'll give you that, but it would definitely be more stressful. And excitement can be categorized in many different ways. It could be characterized as a woman or as multiple women. It can be characterized just as going out to different events, going out to different parties, and just going outside and doing things. So it can be characterized in a plethora of ways. But he's right. You know, there's not a lot of excitement in my life at the very moment, but I'm at peace. Like, I have no one hitting on my phone that I don't really want to hit on my phone. I got no one, you know, blowing me up, asking me this, asking me that, where I'm at, what are you doing, this, that. I don't have to deal with any of that. You know, because I spend a decent amount of my days alone, like, I don't really be getting pissed off. And of course, like, I have my moments where I get angry, I get sad with certain memories or certain things that happen that just kind of annoy me. But if you look at a grand scale, just like overall, I really don't be getting mad. I really don't be getting sad. I really don't be getting upset. Majority of my days, I'm either happy, and if I'm not happy, then I'm just kind of content. And like, if I am mad about something, then I try to kind of work through it, or, you know, try to channel that anger towards something productive. I got no one nagging me, no one crying, you know. I don't have to worry about where someone's at. I don't have to worry about any of that, you know. And I guess another thing about not having too much excitement in your life too is just there's no stress. So like, outside of women, you can have excitement just like going out and doing things and all the other stuff, but depending on what exactly you do, it can bring stress, you know. And I'm not really like stressed at the moment, other than maybe like just trying to find a way to make more money. But other than that, I'm not really like stressed. And even me trying to find a way to make more money, I'm not like stressed about it, because I have enough money to pay my bills and survive and still do what I want. I'm not struggling. Could be doing better, but I'm not severely struggling where it's a serious problem. But that's really what I've been thinking about. It's like, damn, maybe we should have more excitement. Well, if you have more excitement, it could take away your peace, depending on what that excitement is. And I guess at that point, you just got to be very careful at choosing what that excitement is. But regardless, I think if you add anything to your life, you have a chance to bring chaos into your life by adding something to it. Whether that be a person, whether that be a thing, whether that be going to a different place, it could be categorized in many different ways. You know, you could add excitement into your life, but then you have to understand that it might affect your peace. So now at that moment, it's like, well, what's more important, my peace or this excitement? And I feel like majority of people will pick peace. I pick peace majority of the time, because I would rather be at peace and be okay with myself than to add something or someone into my life. And now, you know, my mind is always racing, or now all of a sudden I'm stressed about something, or, you know, something along those lines. But I guess here's the good thing about adding excitement into your life is that you might sacrifice peace, but you're gaining experience. And hopefully this excitement you add into your life doesn't kill you, or doesn't get hurt, or if it's a female, doesn't get pregnant, unless that's what you want. But it could add experience, you know? When I went to the Philippines, I wasn't really at peace. I wasn't stressed, but I definitely wasn't at peace, because I'm in a new area. So like, my antennas were up significantly higher compared to just me like being around this neighborhood, because this is what I know. But being out there and having to manage my money with the money conversion, having to, you know, book hotels and book places to stay, having to keep my head on the swivel and make sure no one's trying to rob me or hurt me or anything like that, I learned a lot. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I learned so much, like so much from that experience. And it was extremely exciting. Extremely exciting. But at the cost of what? My peace. Because I wasn't at peace while I was there. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't like stressed out, like, oh my gosh, like I wasn't severely stressed, but I had stressful moments there. And I had moments where I was stressed out. And I had moments that I knew this stress is coming from me being here. It wasn't just like stress I would have back at home, because I knew if I went back home, I wouldn't have that stress. But because I'm here and exposing myself to these new experiences, I'm at stress. Or at least I'm more stressed than what I was before. And I remember leaving, when I left for the Philippines, I was pretty much at peace. Like I was pretty much at peace and at ease with life. But when I came back, I wasn't at peace, you know? And it's crazy because I came back from the Philippines on, I think, October 1st, 2024. It's now May 6, 25, and I'm just now, I feel like, regaining said peace. Maybe not just now, but maybe a month ago. Which is crazy. Because peace goes like this. But it takes some time to gain it back. You can lose peace very fastly, but you can never seem to gain peace very fastly, or at least not at the speed at which you lose it. So it's a catch-22. It's what you want. And sometimes you purposely choose the excitement. You purposely choose that stress. Why? Because you know that experience is going to help you grow. It's going to help you learn something. It's going to make you a better human, make you a better person, or at least a little bit more well-rounded human or person, you know? I went to the Philippines and, you know, I never traveled by myself before, so I learned how to travel. I've never been to a foreign country before, so I learned how to conduct myself in a foreign country. I learned new customs. I learned new cultures. I learned about money conversions. I learned about all the fees that these ATMs charge you when you need to take money out and stuff like that. I learned a lot about the Philippines in of itself. You know, I learned because I ended up getting in a relationship down there. So each relationship you learn from, at least that's what I believe. So I learned from another relationship that I was with that I ended up getting involved with while I was down there. I learned a lot, but it brought me stress and it took away my peace. And I'm not upset about it because I chose that. I chose to go. I chose to book the ticket. I chose to hop on a plane. I chose to go over there, and I chose to do the actions in which I took place. I chose to do the actions in which I took part in while I was there. You know? So peace is good. Very good. And I think that's what a lot of people aim for. I think a lot of people aim for happiness, but what they really want is peace. But at the same time, sometimes you purposely don't choose peace in order to gain experience, gain some type of lesson. So that's my morning rant. Today is shoulders. Typically I do shoulders and abs, but because I'm having this lower abdominal problem, I won't be doing abs today, so I'll be doing shoulders. So do hit some for the anterior delts, hit some for the lateral delts, and some for the rear delts. Probably do 2 or 3 exercises for each. We'll typically only do 1 exercise for the anterior delt. I'll probably do 2 exercises for the lateral delts, 2 exercises for the rear delts. We'll see how I feel. But it's going to be a good workout, for sure. So, done with the gym. Really good workout. Back-to-back days of fantastic work. And I'm not mad at it. I'm genuinely happy. Back-to-back days of, when I'm at the gym, when I'm lifting upper body, I really don't sweat. Like, I never really sweat. And if I do sweat,
then take the first one.
And if I do sweat, typically it's because I'm either doing legs or I'm doing cardio, which I never do cardio, but every once in a while I might get a little itch to do a little something. Bro, I was sweating today. You know what I mean? I had to change the shirt. Man. I sweat through the shirt. I was sweating today. I was putting in work. When I wear a hat, I sweat. I notice I sweat a little bit more, probably because I'm retaining more heat, but typically not to the point where I have to change a shirt, you know? So that's pretty cool. It was a really, really good workout. 2 back-to-back days of just a killer workout. Knock wood, I'm gonna see how I feel later. But so far, stretching before the workout actually helped. Because I'm not in as much pain as I usually am. And I felt a little in the workout, but not really. I felt it briefly, then it went away. Now I feel a little, it's like faint, but it's not really there compared to what the pain usually is after my workout. So stretching before the workout is the way. Whether I stretch before the workout here or whether I stretch before the workout at my house. Doesn't matter. That's the wave, and I'll probably be doing that for the foreseeable future. I'm just so happy. The gym, I've been on and off for the past couple months because of, this hernia and my health and stuff like that. Had surgery, and it just feels good to be back, man. You take a lot of things for granted when it's taken away from you, and then now once you have it again, it's kind of like, all right, let me make the most of it, because also you never know when it's going to be taken away again. I pray that it won't ever be taken away again, but life happens, and you truly never know what might happen to where you can't go to the gym anymore, or you can't do what you love anymore, whether that be forever or for a short period of time. But I'm so happy that I'm able to be back in the gym. I'm so happy that I'm able to push myself the way I want to push, at least these past 2 days, Even though I'm still in pain and stuff like that, I'm still pushing because I want to. I don't see the point of going to the gym if you ain't finna push, I just don't understand what's the point of going if I'm just lollygag. And everyone has their own reason to go. Some people go to socialize, which I see. Some people go and actually push themselves. Some people go just to say that they go, which is fair, but I'm paying money to go to a gym to work out and actually push. If I wanted to socialize, I'd go to a bar, I'd go to a club, I'd walk around outside, I'd go to a mall. I would find a different place to socialize. Not saying I don't say hi to people at the gym and stuff like that, but to be honest, except for maybe when I'm back home, when I'm back up in New York, I definitely talk to more people at the gym. But even then, it's I push myself, I see somebody, I say hi, I might talk to you for a minute or two, and then after that, I'm back at it, And crazy enough, that's a huge reason why I don't pull up on females at the gym, because I'm here to work. Now, we can talk and maybe exchange contact information, whatever, but I'm not here to pull up. I'm here to work. And there's a lot of arguments because it's also I would like a girl who works out. So it's you can talk to a girl at the gym and she works out. It's what's a better place to find someone that works out than at the gym, which is also fair, but it goes both ways. But I really go to the gym to work. I really go to the gym to push myself and really test my limits a little bit. And these past 2 days, I've been able to do so. Currently right now, I'm on my way to the bank to pick up some money. Then after that, I'm going to go buy Trey a gift. But overall, great workout today. Great job today. I'm locked in, baby. I'm locked in. Took a couple pictures at the gym or took a video. I'm looking pretty good. It ain't looking too shabby. It's slowly coming back. Slowly coming back, day by day. Day by day. That's it. Just walk it down. One day at a time, bro. And eventually everything's going to come together. So I just finished reading. Today, started a new book. Started a new book yesterday. I started a new book today. I'm not going to start a new book every day, but I did also want to get this book started, so I'll probably be reading 2 books at once. The one from yesterday's video, and then Robert Greene's 33 Strategies of War. Robert Greene is a fantastic author. I enjoy him. He's probably my favorite author. Actually, I think I've read all his books thus far. I'm reading this one now, and so this will be the last one that I personally have to read until he drops another. But I've really liked this book so far. I've only made it through chapter 2, so I read the preface, read chapter 1. Now I'm on chapter 2, but I don't know, I just find it very interesting. I find his ideology to be interesting. I find the way he thinks and the way he writes to be interesting. I think it's a little bit different, especially looking at the book. There's a whole bunch of, they're red notes on the side. So it's there's an actual writing, and then on the side it's extra notes and stuff. And they're all different quotes and stuff like that. And it's very interesting. I've also read some of his other books and applied it to my life, and it worked. So I was shoot, if this worked, let me try other things. And a lot of what he says I actually believe to be true. And Some of that could be because it is actually true, or maybe some of it is just because I want it to be true and I believe it to be true, which essentially makes it true in and of itself. But there was something in here I found interesting, and I kind of want to read it. He's essentially taken strategies of war and applying it to daily life, to everyday life, which I think is actually pretty cool, because and how he states it, and it makes a sense, and it does make sense, at least to me. It's like life kind of is a battlefield, and we're all gonna have ups, we're all gonna have downs, we're all gonna have people who are gonna try to attack us in some type of way. And now a lot of times people attack us indirectly because it's not socially acceptable to be outwardly aggressive toward people, which makes sense. You can't just continue walking down the street and just press somebody. But yet, it's done indirectly, It's done through like subtle jabs or things even behind your back. They could be plotting against you. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he was saying these are the 6 fundamental ideals you should aim for in transforming your life into a strategic warrior in your daily life. And I like a lot of these, and some of these I already base my life around, but they're great reminders for myself. Look at things as they are, not as your emotions color them. Sometimes it's hard to look at things as they are, frankly, because of our emotions. You get lost in it, whether it's anger or whether it's romance, whether it's sadness, whether it's pity. Sometimes our emotions can skew our view on reality, which might cause us to act in one way, which essentially can potentially become detrimental. Another one, and this is the main one that I use, and I got this one from the 48 Laws of Power, but judge people by their actions. And I agree wholeheartedly. And when I started to see things differently, completely different. It's like, don't worry about what people say. Watch what they do, because they can say anything, but their actions is what's actually real, because that's what's actually bringing something into reality. And I always like to use this analogy, especially like if I'm explaining it to somebody else, but also just for like me to break it down, because the analogy I use is very, very elementary. It's like someone could say, hey, I'm going to give you $1 million. I'm going to give you $1 million. I'm going to give you $1 million. But it doesn't matter unless they actually give you $1 million. Them saying they're going to give you $1 million doesn't change your life. But them actually giving you $1 million changes your life, because now it's reality. So it's like judging people by what they actually do. And it's like, look at what they have done. Deeds do not lie, which is a fact, because it's actually done. You actually did it. You brought it into life. I can tell you lies. I can tell you anything. I can deceive you with my words. But what actually matters is, what do I bring into this world? What actually happens in real time? And what are the effects of said actions? Because everything does have a consequence. Depend on your own arms. And this is pretty much what's saying, like, depend on yourself. And I do think it's important to have allies. I do think it's important to have people to help you, because you can't do everything by yourself. But a lot of things you have to depend on yourself, because no one is going to do it for you. Like, no one's going to take certain actions for you. No one's going to save you. People might help you if you ask, but not everyone's going to help you. And not everybody's going to be there when you need them. So it's like, depend on yourself to get things done. Depend on yourself to, be successful, or take care of whatever you got to take care of. Worship Athena, not Ares. And this was essentially just saying, like, you should want to, like, use your mind and be strategic as you go throughout life. I guess Athena was the goddess, or the Greek goddess of wisdom, and I think she was also the goddess of, it says here, strategic warfare. And I guess Ares was like the traditional, like, brute force. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna hurt you, like, very violent and just attack with no real strategy. So it's essentially saying take a strategic look to life, which I do agree with, because you can't really brute force your way through life. Also, especially if you're trying to persuade somebody, you can't really just like force them to do something, but you actually got to strategically go about actually trying to find a productive way in which you can get what you want from somebody without forcing them to do it, but by essentially making them think that they want to do it. But all that strategy, and as I'm saying it does sound like a little bit of manipulation, but that's also a part of life to a certain extent. Obviously, you don't want to manipulate anybody in a negative aspect, but I think we all manipulate people to a certain extent because we all want our ways. We all are selfish. Another thing I got from him, Robert Greene, is, we're all narcissists. We all care about ourselves. We all care about our self-interest above all else, which is 100% true. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to make sure we are okay. We are interested in ourselves way more than we are interested in other people. I mean, crazy enough, what you're doing. Look at these videos. Like, I make this because I'm interested in myself, because I want to watch this back 50 years from now. Now, if people happen to watch it and other people happen to enjoy it, that would be a blessing. But a lot of this is just for me, Elevate yourself above the battlefield. This is essentially just talking about like taking a step back. And this one is another hard one. And I mean, to a certain extent, all of these could be hard, but this is the first one I find very hard in terms of just like taking things as they are. Maybe because I'm so young, but like I'm still really working on that. And then also like elevate yourself above the battlefield. Essentially like keeping the long-term goal in mind. And I'm able to do that, but sometimes you forget the long-term goal and you do something that could possibly jeopardize it, but you don't realize it until it's too late. And then you're like, damn, I should have waited, or I should have, But due to temptations and how life is, and for me personally, just being so young, sometimes you can forget the long-term goal because it seems so far ahead. Like, all right, the stuff I do now, I'm going to keep doing this all the way until I'm 50, because if I keep doing it, it's like the delayed gratification thing. It's like, I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to think about the long-term goal, and that's why I carry myself in a certain way and conduct myself in a certain way so that 50-year-old me could be straight. But at the end of the day, we get caught up in the desires that 24-year-old me wants, that the younger version of you wants. And it's hard. But it was essentially just taking a step back at life and just thinking about the long term, and also like strategizing for the long term, like not necessarily just like attacking now, but take a look at the battlefield. And the last one is spiritualize your warfare. It's essentially go to war on yourself. And I never heard of that. I heard a lot of people be like, yo, it's me versus me and stuff like that, but the way it's articulated in this maybe is a little bit different. Maybe it just resonates with me a little bit more, but it's like go to war on yourself. And it's essentially saying the greatest battle of all is with yourself, your weaknesses, your emotions, your lack of resolution, and seeing things to the end. You must declare unceasing war on yourself. As a warrior in life, you welcome combat, conflict as ways to prove yourself, to better skills, to gain courage, confidence, and experience. Instead of repressing your doubts and fears, you must face them down. Do battle with them. You want more challenges, and you invite more war. You are forging the warrior spirit, and only constant practice will lead you there. I like this. Because at the end of the day, you gotta conquer yourself. I really like this. So, obviously, there's more, but I ain't gonna sit here and read the whole book to you. And there's so much more that like I learned, but I really wanted to talk on those points because there were like 6 points, and I thought they were pretty cool and concise. And I really enjoyed it. So I really like this book, and I'm really enjoying this book. And I'm sure now that I'm reading this book, I'm gonna be talking a lot about this book and a lot about the principles and what I might like and what I don't like, or what I might understand and what I don't understand. But knowing me, I'm gonna start talking about this a lot more. Also, as I'm reading this, I'm like getting more enthralled. I haven't read Like, I read for a decent amount of this afternoon, and I never do that. So I'm proud of myself for doing that, but I never do that. And the fact that this book is kind of keeping me in my seat and reading. I also read the Bible today. I didn't just read this. But the fact that it's helping me sit here in my seat and like keeping me locked in is nice. I'm gonna be honest. It shows. And typically his books do that. Like, I read Mastery a couple years ago. I read all of them except for The Art of Seduction. The Art of Seduction I listened to. But I noticed his books seem to just like captivate me. Like, it's hard to start, but then once I start it, it's hard to put it down. It's like so much good information. I'm not gonna say it's overwhelming, but it's definitely a lot to consume. And I would like to start rereading his books, because I feel like that's the only way you really gonna understand it. I really understand anything. It's like rereading it. Even if you watch a podcast or a video, the only way you really gonna understand is if you just like rewatch it and basically embed it in yourself. That's how you learn things, essentially, just through repetition. But I'm pleased. I'm very pleased. I'm also pleased with myself, the fact that I've read this freaking long. Like, it's damn near 7. 6:30, almost 7. Wow. So yeah, but that's pretty much it for the evening. Nothing else crazy. It's not raining no more. It's been raining the past 3 days. It's not raining now. It might rain tomorrow, but I'm not sure. But at this point, I need to shower, I need to eat, and I'm really just gonna chill for the night. Got okay sleep last night, so I'll probably end up trying to go back to bed early. At this point, I just gotta figure out how to get more hours of sleep. So I don't know if that means just going to bed early since I keep waking up in the middle of the night, or yeah. That's really the only solution I have at the moment. So we'll see what happens. But I'll probably try to go to bed a little bit early as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for watching. Love you, Brody. Keep your head up. Keep pushing. Peace.